Hey guys, I got a great episode for you guys. You're going to really enjoy Shayne. It was an awesome conversation, but I just wanted to say a few things right up front. One, that episode is going to end abruptly, kind of not in the middle of a story, but it's going to seem like there was more. There is. There's going to be a part 2 because his internet just abruptly quit on us. No big deal. So we're going to come back and talk about like what he's done after and all that stuff. Number 2 is I appreciate all the shares, all the likes of the first episode. It was received really well. Thank you for everyone who downloaded it, but also share these things because we're not doing ads. I'm not that the way I want to work this, and I'll explain this later, is, we got to get the name out there. So just share it, man, get people interested, and download it. That way we can kind of get a bigger audience. That audience brings me people that are guests, So eventually I'm going to run out of all the 2-4 guys. But also, for those of you who are listening that have Iraq experience, legitimately, I want to do, a couple episodes on Iraq, not back to back, but, I kind of want to get into maybe Fallujah. It doesn't have to be any of the big battles. It doesn't really matter. Ramadi, it doesn't matter. Like I said, I just want to put some Iraq in there because it there's a whole different experience. And, me and Shayne kind of talk about how, for us, we were kind of indoctrinated into the Iraq, and then, we ended up going to Afghanistan. So, anyways, I just wanted to put all that out there. Oh, last thing is re-listening to this morning, the way we talk about our senior Marines, and maybe some officers can come off like maybe that we didn't like them, and we made it clear in the episode, and I just want to say clear now that we respect everyone that we served with. They were all great dudes, and no matter at the end of the day, it's not that we didn't like them or don't like them now. It's just that sometimes in the circumstance, in context, it can feel at times that, you just don't have a good working relationship with someone, and that's cool. That's no problem. That's why Marines are professional. We can say, hey, look, I hate your guts, but we're going to roll, And so you might get that vibe a little bit in here, but just so you know, we respect everyone that we served with. Doesn't matter. We're not holding grudges, and we're not trying to like call anybody out. It's just, it's just the way we felt at the moment, and that's what to understand. Thanks, guys. Enjoy the show. All right, welcome to the second episode of 11 Bang Gang. Shayne Wood here with me. So yes, we're going to do that. Shayne, say hi to the gang.
What is going on, my dudes? Happy to be here.
All right. First of all, Shayne is a big Seahorse Nation guy, so we're going to throw that out there. Seahorse Nation. Dude, I wanted to talk about this first because I promise the listeners I'm never going to get political. And so this isn't political because this show ain't about politics. I'm just like, this is the list and you ain't got to worry about that. Yeah. But the administration did something directly tied to the military. So I don't know if you've seen, what's his name's new orders they dropping for the DOD or the Department of War.
Dude, I'm amped on it, bro. I'm all about this fool.
Like, yeah. You can think what you want about him or, whoever's the SecDef or the Secretary of War now, but like his stuff on adding more like physical fitness, rolling back like the PowerPoint depth, all the stupid classes we had to take every year. And I mean, he's like, but you should see the reaction. You got an X account?
What's X again? What is X? Twitter? Yeah, no, that might be, I think that's the only social media I don't rock with because I don't understand it.
Okay, so that's the only one I'm on. Like, I don't get on any, but now don't get me wrong, X is kind of crazy because you see some crazy shit on there.
Yeah.
But
Elon Musk, he owns that business, don't he? I think so.
Yeah, no, he bought it. But
yeah.
But the thing about it is like the Air Force people on there are having a stroke right now because I think they had a whole mile added to their PFT and they only run a mile. So these dudes are
Yeah,
literally only going to run 2 miles now and they are having a stroke about it.
dude, I'm all about it. I think, it sounds kind of cliche, but you read back to the Spartans and like King Leonidas, man. And I think one of the most famous quotes in Gates of Fire, I'm going to butcher it, but it basically talks about how when the Persian emissary rolled up on the Spartans to be like, yo, where's your boy? They're like, he sleeps over there in that, quote unquote shithole next to that shithole where I sleep. And the guy like couldn't believe it. And he couldn't even recognize or distinguish which one was King Leonidas because usually back then a king was like old, kind of like grayish beard and frail. But every
Yeah.
dude out there was jacked, looking good, in shape because they understood the importance of physical fitness from the top rank to the lowest rank, man. It's something I really agree with, dude.
Didn't they like when at the age of what was it like 6 or 7, the males
Yeah,
had to start
7.
military training? God, dude, that's wild. Can you imagine like just being in boot camp from the time you're 7 to like, you know what I mean? I mean,
Oh,
it's
dude,
a,
you gonna be hazed.
yeah, just getting hazed like your whole life. But it's funny because so the Marine Corps put out a little advertisement the other day, and it had a picture of the Marines in formation, and it said the Marine Corps hit its recruiting goals for the millionth year in a row, and they were
Yeah,
like because we don't drop standards, and that was their headline. I was like, nice, bro, way to stick it
that's
to
right,
everyone
boys.
else.
Yeah,
Yeah, that
man,
was
I'm
the.
all into that fool. What's his
I
name?
mean,
Hegseth?
yeah, Hegseth. Yeah, Hegseth.
Heg,
Yeah,
I
I
totally
mean,
I messed up.
somebody said that they were going to go get a new ID before they got out, so that instead of saying Department of Defense at the top, it said Department of War. I was like,
Oh,
hell yeah,
gangster, bro. Yeah, man, he like blew up my feed. I'm not like a
yeah,
huge social media scroller, but it seemed like every time I opened my phone, this dude was there, and I thought it was like AI. It was that on par with like what I believe as a Marine and just as a man. And I'm like, there's no way this is real, dude. So I'm up in the comments. I'm like, this is a real dude. I'm Googling pictures of him.
but I knew Hegseth from watching Fox. Occasionally, I seen him. He was a host, and so like when they got him for Department of Defense, the SecDef, I was like, what? But I was like, all
Dude,
right, cool, dude.
I didn't know he was
But
rocking with Fox for a little bit because he speaks well. Like that's the thing is like
yeah,
the fool speaks well, but he speaks like a troop or like a Marine,
yeah,
somebody who's been in the field a little bit. Because just the way he carries himself, like when he's talking about the fat people,
yeah,
that is my
yeah.
favorite part, bro. He's just
See,
like, no
like
more fat people,
that's my
no more
thing.
dresses, dude. I'm about it.
It is I don't care what your politics are, but if you get up in front of our entire general staff and tell them that you're done with this thing looking like a Weight Watchers conference, I'm like, I ain't said rah in a few years, but I'll say it now. You know what I mean? Like I
Oh,
was like,
yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
okay.
I did the
But
same shit. I was over here like, hell yeah, brother. My kids are like next to me. They're like, raw. I'm like, yes, raw
yeah,
for
rah,
sure.
rah. This is short rah, but it's there. Anyway, but all right. So I have actually, I knew you when we were in Echo, but like I didn't know anything about you. So I guess I'll just start off by asking you, where'd you grow up and where you from?
Yeah, man. I am from Nixa, Missouri. That's where I spent my formative years from like 12 to 18 when I left the Marines. But it was right where like Texas, Oklahoma, and Missouri kind of converge. I grew up pretty middle class, like lower middle class. Not like I wasn't per se poor, just the whole town didn't have a lot of money. So it wasn't like anybody really stood out as rich. Everyone just kind of was, rocking at the river. I didn't have like a big ups or big city upbringing. And my first time on an airplane shoot was actually going to boot camp. And my first time having air conditioning was in my barracks room, having heat.
No.
I swear on everything. I wake up and I could see my breath in the winter time in my house. I didn't mind it, bro. I chopped wood, and we
Yeah,
we had a fireplace, and that's how we rocked in Missouri, man.
yeah, yeah. We're gonna get. I want to get this backstory because
Yeah.
you like when I got on Facebook and seen what you're doing now. I'm like, I gotta talk to this. I gotta get this guy on. He's got to come on.
Yeah,
So,
it's the wilderness stuff, man.
yeah, yeah, but we'll get into that. But okay, so yeah, it's funny you should say that because I knew quite a few guys that would their first airplane ride was boot camp. Now I didn't take a plane to boot camp, but like my first time I ever flew was from Atlanta to San Diego, and I think for a lot of these guys at 18, 17, 18 years old, they unless you grew up with wealthy parents, you ain't never flown or semi-wealthy parents. You got to be like middle
Yeah,
class,
you gotta be
to
taking
afford a plane
vacations.
ticket. Yeah. So, okay. So I guess I'll ask this question. Uh, how old are you? If you,
I am 33.
okay, you're 33. Okay. So when did you know? Cause you grew up Missouri. I'm guessing you were an outdoorsman.
Yeah, I was a weirdo. All the kids in my class wanted to like go hang out at the Sonic or the Taco Bell. You had to go in town, like 5 miles in town to go to these
Yeah.
places. But I wanted to go 5 miles further from where I was at, and I had Busick Reservation Forest, and
Nice.
I just started going out there. I didn't know anything, bro. I like read that book Hatchet or Brian's Hunt, Brian's Return, Gary Paulson, and I just wanted to do that, man. I wanted to go out in the woods, and I wanted to be like straight up Indian, bro. I didn't care if I had any food with me. I bring like no joke, like a can of beefaroni, like some Chef Boyardee, a tarp, and a hunting knife, and like that was it. And I would go out as 16 years old for a few days at a time. And I'd come back, and
Man.
I just kept doing that, bro. And eventually, I'd started picking skills up. I started kind of getting used to being out there and having a good time.
So you did all that self-taught. So you didn't have any mentor, not like teaching you how to do any of that. You just were, dude, you were just bushcrafting at the most basic level, man.
Yeah, I had no internet. I had no YouTube. I didn't have a smartphone. I had what was that, a Razor. I had a Razor flip phone, and that was it. And so I was just kind of figuring stuff out, and I was messing up a lot. And it was like I would mess up, and I would almost freeze, or wouldn't find water for like a day or two. So I have to learn how to make my own filter out of like a shirt, some grass, some charcoal, or just different ways to collect water, even because people don't even
Okay.
think about that.
I, I gotta ask this. I gotta ask this
Yeah,
because,
yeah,
all right. So I got a life straw. I think you know what that is.
yeah.
Yeah, okay, okay. I figured you did. So I was like, I'm kind of a prepper, I got stuff, but,
Smart man.
and I'm big into survival stuff. I teach the kids stuff like that. But, I was looking up water one day and I was like, did you ever accidentally, cause I've drank out of creeks as a kid. I would be out in the woods, you thirsty, you find like a creek. I was always told though, just to make sure it's moving water. Like you can drink anything you want to, just make sure it's moving. Like that was what I was told as a kid. So in these forays out there at 16 or whatever, did you ever accidentally drink the wrong type of water and screw yourself up for days on end?
Oh yeah, yeah. And it really depend on where you're at and how nasty it is. It'll hit you about a week after you drink it. So let's say you go out there for a weekend. This happened to me a couple times where I'd be out there and I would like look at a map and I just didn't know how to really read it. I just thought blue meant water, but a dotted blue line means seasonal. So you can
Right.
hike your dumb ass all the way up there and you're not going to find anything except a draw. So I'd go up
Wow.
there and think it would be a really cool spot to explore and just no water. And I'd find some stagnant water, grab me a handful of it, however much I could honestly take. About a week later, you'd just be sitting there, just like kind of dysentery, like we got, and how's that ninja? Kind of
Yeah.
like that, a little more on the poop side, less on the vomit side. But it just dehydrates you, dude. And you'll be lucky because let's say you're in a survival situation and you need to drink some water and you don't have a water filter, dude. You better make it 7 days. Yeah, that's about because at that 7 day, 6 day mark, that stomach's going to start grumbling. And if you don't get antibiotics or something in your system to remedy that, you're really going to be having a bad time.
Man. Yeah, like
Yeah.
I read, you know, I read this, and then one of my girls asked me one time, she was like, "Well, you know, if you're stuck somewhere and you can't get water, you can drink that." And I was explaining to him, I was like, "No, if you drink that water and you're already dehydrated, you're toast. Like, 'cause
Yeah.
it'll kill you in a survival situation." And they were like, "Really?" I was like, "Yes, because you will evacuate every liquid out of you for days on end, and then you're already dehydrated." And yeah, that was wild. I mean, I forgot all about that, you know. But I was kind of like, man, I never messed up as a kid. All them times in the wood, I guess I got lucky, you know.
Yeah. If it's a creek, you're good. Like if it's running, like you were talking about, there's
Yeah,
really no worries on that. It's more so like I was saying, stagnant. Stagnant being
stagnant.
like a pond. You know, like a pond for listeners who don't get what that. It's like just a big, nasty, algae, muddy puddle, and
Yeah,
a bunch of bacteria collects off of that. And especially like everyone wants to fish, and it's cool that there's fish in there, but there's also a lot of fish poo and a lot
yeah,
of duck poo, and that's when there's no water running. All that poo just kind of it might look kind of clear on top, but the bottom of that thing, I promise you, you wouldn't want to drink out of it if you saw the bottom. That's what people don't realize, man. That's what messes them up.
Well, see, that was the thing is one of those creeks I remember that I drank out of, I found out later that it not, I knew at the time, but I found out later about how bad water was. But one of those was not a real creek. It was the runoff from the local pond next to me. So, you know, but like there was this perfect spot where a rock was and the water hit it just right. So it was like a water fountain. It was shooting up, you know, and that's
Yeah,
what I'm saying. Like I got lucky, man. I don't know. Maybe I did get sick. I was so young. I wouldn't remember, but
yeah.
anyway,
That's
okay. So
bro.
you're you're doing you're doing all this crazy junk. You're playing what's that dude that goes out? He has a movie. What's our TV show? The Bear. You're playing Bear Grylls out here
Oh,
at
dude, he was my
16.
inspiration, bro.
I bet. I bet.
Yeah, man. I was watching that fool. He's like climbing vines and shit. It was
Yeah.
wild.
Yeah. So you do that. So when do you decide you want to join the Marine Corps? Like, I mean, what did you want it, or did you were like you were just like I'm gonna go in the military? Period.
I knew I was gonna go into the military. Like I always really liked the idea. And I was obsessed with like as a kid, like I was playing like commando or soldier or something. And I went to talk to these different branches because at Nixa they have the JROTC program. And in that program, I might get some flack for this, but you know, it was known to be just a bunch of dorks, bunch of nerds, and it was the army, right? So you
Yeah.
had to wear the quote unquote pickle suit. And I thought I looked awesome, man, but you ain't getting no tail in that thing, son. You just look like a dork. I don't care how cool you are, how many ribbons you got. So I'm in that, and I'm having all these recruiters come in, and some of them are like working normal MOSs, and they're just talking about being an engineer, and it just sounded lame. So one guy came in who was like a 18 X-ray radio operator in the Army, which is like a special forces radio operator. I was like, what is that shit, dude? And like, what's a ranger? And he started telling me, and I'm just like, boom, boom, like firing all cylinders, like, let's go, dude. Like, I can get paid to do this shit, dude. And like, legally, you're just gonna give me a gun? I just have it? Yeah, bro. But that wasn't really the army after I took the ASVAB. I did not meet their their ASVAB scores, bro. And this good man looked right at me and he was like, yo, you can do
Yeah.
infantry for sure. You can do infantry, but I don't know about Ranger school. I don't know about SF school. So maybe think about the Marine Corps. And he said that, and I'm like, it just it like crushed me, bro. I'm like, damn. So I didn't know anything about the Marines. I had just been like, I'm that type of mindset where if I like something, I'm gonna like study the shit out of it. So once I liked the Army and the Green Berets, dude, I like locked in and was all about that. And I was like, the Marines, man, they're just a bunch of like just strict, uppity, like kind
Yeah.
of messed up dudes. But like, I'm out here trying to do like fortunate son shit, dude. Like hanging out at Huey's, and which I did get to do, but I realized that once I saw a Marine, there was just a difference, bro. Like this fool walked into the high school, man. I mean, dude was wearing his dress blues, neck veins just bulging. He was just yoked, man. He was jacked as shit. And he had all these ribbons. He had like neck tattoos coming up out of his uniform. Like kind of like how my neck tattoos are. They were that high, bro. I'm like, dude. And he has the pull-up bar. He sets it up in the lunchroom and he starts explaining it, and he just busts out like 20 pull-ups in his freaking blues, dog. Pops down, busts a sweat, and I'm like, man, I didn't see the Army guy do a fucking push-up the whole time he was here. So like, this is epic right here, man. And from that moment on, dude, I wanted to be that guy. I wanted to be the dude where like, wherever he was, I wanted all those ribbons. I wanted everything on that uniform, and he promised me that I could do it with my GT score. So
you were like,
all right.
2 for 1, baby. I'm sold, dude. Put me in, coach.
Yeah, dude. I would have signed up for 1,000 years if they would have let me at the start, bro.
So they had when I took the ASVAB, the recruiter told me, he was like, you can do any job in the Marine Corps except be a linguist. And so when I was like, I want recon, he was like,
hell yeah.
He was like, okay. And he was a AAV dude, and he was a cool guy. Shout out to Joshua Smith if you're listening. There's a dude that I knew, I haven't talked to in years, went to the recruiter station with in 2008, and this dude listens to the podcast. So what's up, Josh?
Get
anyway,
the hell out of here.
Yeah, dude. But anyway, there was something about the Marine Corps. I was the same way. I was in ROTC my senior year. They started the program my senior year. But,
really?
Yeah, but like, the thing is like, I knew, well, first of all, my dad was a Marine, but I knew when you see the Marine recruiter, the way they wear that uniform, dude, is just completely different. And it's something where you see that guy, and like you said, he busts and pull-ups out, and you're like, man, the gay-ass Army recruiter over here giving out like lanyards and shit, and he just trying to get free shit, you know, and then the Marine recruiter's like, you want to come, but you got to bust out 20 before you join. You know what I'm saying? He just got like a whole different mentality, you know, and you're like, hell yeah, that's what I want. So, did 9/11 play any influence into your decision, or were you just like,
absolutely.
Okay. I didn't know. You know, our generation, that's a big thing. You know, we at war, and you're like, hey, you know, you're going to war. Like, it's different with like some of the 98 to, you know, maybe 2000 era guys that joined, and that it was peacetime, right? They like, I do my 4 years, I get out, I get my GI Bill, I'm gone, dude. But like for us, we knew, we were like, if we go infantry, we're going. Like,
dude, that's what I wanted, bro. Especially like 9/11 happened, man. I think I was in 4th grade, dude. And I was at St. Philomena Catholic School. Oh. Shout out to my bitch ass teachers. They hated me. I hated them back. But dude, I was there, and they're like, we're all gonna say a prayer. Some towers just hit. None of us knew it was happening. All I knew is it was my mom's birthday. So like, whoever just dicked that up was about to pay. And I was like, man, it's fucking on, bro. And like, I don't know if you remember the dates of our deployment, but one of them I was out on patrol was 9/11, 2011. And I think that's the Mota's vehicle got hit that day.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's the one he walked away from. Yeah.
Hold on. We gonna get to that. We jumping. We weaving. We weaving. We're gonna weave. This is bad. We're both weavers. You know, John in the first episode kept me on track. But anyway, okay. So you go. Do you go to Paris Island, or you go to San Diego?
Nah, I was Dago, dude.
Oh,
San Diego, yeah.
Gay.
Yeah,
dang.
Dude. We had hills, bro. We had hills. That's fucking it.
So for the listeners, because we do, by the way, and I'm going to say this on the pod, I got 2 write-ins from the first podcast. One is that us military guys throw too much lingo that they don't know what it means. And then Yeah, because we keep giving acronyms, and apparently me and John were going off on acronyms, and somebody was like, I
Yep.
don't know what this means. They were like, it's a great conversation, though.
Yeah, it makes
Anyway,
sense, man.
so for the listeners, the East Coast Marines go to Parris Island. The West Coast Marines go to what we called Hollywood Marines, down to San Diego,
Yeah.
MCRD. So, where the palm trees are, it's basically a vacation down there. No, I'm just kidding. But
What a description,
we
dude.
hate
What a
we
palm tree.
we hate on each other because the Marines that go to Parris Island we get ate up by sand fleas. It's hot, humid. San Diego's got pretty good weather, but you got to do your warfare training on Pendleton, which has hills. If you stay on the East Coast, it's flat. So you want humidity or hills. Now, I'm from Georgia, so I really don't give a shit. You're from Missouri, so you probably had humidity growing up, so you obviously didn't give a shit. But anyway, so you go to San Diego. So I guess my question, and I'm going to ask every guest this, is expectation versus reality. So you go to boot camp. Is it what you thought it was? If it wasn't, why?
Oh, hell yeah. Oh, hell yeah, bro.
Okay.
I remember I was friends with like this Vietnam vet, and he was like a hippie. He just smoked all kinds of weed. And he told me, he's like, yeah, man. He's like, I went off the bus and they put us on those yellow footprints. And I'm looking around. He's like, I ain't never seen a palm tree before. And we're from the same town.
Yeah.
So I did the same thing he did without even thinking about it. Like, we get off the bus, it's kind of like dusk, bro. The sun's setting, it's real pretty. So I'm from the country. I'm out here goosenecking. And this drill instructor comes up, open hand, a finger spread open hand, just palms me, bro. Wham! Freaking puts me to the side of my face. Like, it was a slap push. It was a slush, bro. He just
Damn.
disrespected the whole side of my face, sent me into the next kid, then yanked me back, slammed me on the yellow footprint, just screamed at me. That's my first 3 seconds in the Marines, bro. I got face
Holy.
mushed and then just mollywopped back into place. And then we went into that room where you drop all your stuff. And it was exactly the way they described it, without a doubt.
Oh, dang, dude. So you had that first, man, you just got it. Like, you got it straight up front. There was no doubt. What battalion?
Oh, dude, I was Mighty Mike, son. I was the
Oh,
what were we,
okay.
third battalion? I can't even
Third
remember.
battalion. Third battalion. Mike,
Yeah,
yeah.
bro, I was
I was,
3266.
dude, it's
Yeah.
amazing that we remember that because I was platoon 3080, India Company, 3rd Battalion, Parris Island. But it's crazy that you remember all that. So, okay, I guess, I don't know, boot camp's kind of, it's whatever. Boot camp, yeah. So you go through that. Anything crazy happen in boot camp? Like, any crazy story?
Bro. Oh
All right,
yeah, dude.
give me the highlight,
Yeah.
the top story.
Oh my God. Oh shoot. Top one, dude. Okay. This one I will do my best to describe because it's more of a visual thing. But
Okay,
when you go into boot camp, you have no doors on your stalls to poop. So you go in to
right.
poop, and most of the time you're rocking with somebody. Like you got like a buddy, like a battle buddy that rolls with you to and from places. So I had a homie, shout out Davenport. We go to the head to take a crap because we got mail. And
All
in
right.
the mail, sometimes you want privacy when you read letters. And so you kind of go take a crap. So he's like, I'm going to go take a crap. And I'm like, I'm going to go too. I actually had to shit. So we're sitting across from each other because, there's like 6 stalls, 3 by 3. They're facing each other. They're all full. So I'm sitting across from Davenport because we're homies. We're talking, we're BSing, and he has this girlfriend back home. This is like 2.5 months in. Like, we're close to the end, bro. And he's just so in love with this broad, dude. Just like Romeo and Juliet stuff. I've never witnessed it. I'm freaking white trash. I didn't care about women at the time. Dude gets dumped, bro. Dude gets Dear John. Like, he's reading the letter, bro. He's not like he's like partially reading it, and I'm getting it. I'm looking at him because you spend 2.5 months with somebody 24/7. You start to pick up like, oh, something's wrong.
Oh yeah.
Dude, he starts kind of like tearing up, kind of lip quivering. Keep in mind, dude, we're in flip flops, our whitey tighties are around our ankles because we're sitting on a toilet facing each other. And just, he's wearing those BCGs, these old school glasses that make you look like squints from the Sandlot. And the
Yeah.
drill instructor, dude, I hear his heels just
Oh, that's how you know.
coming in the head, bro. The head's the bathroom, which is where we're at. I hear this dude's shoes, which are like made of titanium or something. It sounds like a freaking Clydesdale. And he comes trotting in there. His name was Staff Sergeant Bardoni. Shout out, still hate you. The dude comes in and he sees Davenport. He's like, you want to be weak? Blah. And he's like, war cry. And he makes him scream. War cries, you just scream. Ah, like super loud. It's just, I mean, it kind of works. So he's screaming and he sees me. And he runs to the middle of the bathroom in between us. And he's like, you, war cries. So now I'm war crying. So we're shitting on the toilet facing each other, war crying with our drill instructor standing in the center. And then he looks at Davenport and says, follow the hand and war cry. And he takes his hand and starts waving it from left to right. Tells Davenport to follow it with his face. So as Davenport is screaming and war crying and pooping, he has to shake his head back and forth, like a crazy person. Then he makes me do it at the same time. So you got this drill instructor looking like a maestro between the shitters, just making us scream our faces off. And then he left abruptly, told us to wipe our asses, destroyed us on the quarterdeck. And my friend, I have never seen someone want to cry so bad. But my boy Davenport kept that shit locked in and just lip quivering. I mean, we're up on the quarterdeck, which is where you're just getting messed up doing push-ups and stuff, sweating, and he's just lip quivering. I miss her, bro. Whatever, man. Screw that girl.
So, dude, homeboy gets dumped and then gets smoked on the quarterdeck.
Dude, smoked while taking a dump, reading the letter while he's getting dumped. And this was like an hour, dude, just getting destroyed.
Man, God,
yeah, man.
That's pretty good. You know, the drill instructors, a lot of people don't realize this, but they are really funny. Like, they are hilarious. They are hilarious. And God forbid that if your lips part, they coming for you. You know, if they see teeth, a smile, anything, your ass is grass, dude, because they're coming.
Dark, and bro.
Yeah, but I watched a couple of my drill instructors laugh, and you know, they'll take their cover off and their hat.
Like put it in your face?
No. They'll put it over their face. I actually watched a couple of drill instructors take their hat off and stick it in their face and laugh in it, because you could tell they were laughing or smiling because they just thought something was so funny, dude. And I mean, it's crazy. Like, I don't know if I could have done it. I was convinced that if I would have stayed in, I would have had to go recruiter. I can talk to people. I mean, I would have been like, look, dude, send me down south. I'm a redneck. I can convince all these rednecks to join the Marine Corps. I just go into high school. That's what I'm saying. I'd have went down there and been like, hey, y'all want to shoot guns? I like shooting guns. You want to shoot guns for free? Get paid to do it? They'd be lining up.
Hell yeah, bro.
You know,
those beer bullets, dog. It's all right here, homie.
Yeah.
You would have told everybody in Texas.
I could have convinced anybody in the South, Southeast. It was easy. But, okay, so you leave there. I'm guessing, Jesus, you go to Pendleton for School of Infantry training. Right?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. And I'm going to ask about a guy. I can't remember his name. I just seen a Facebook post about him the other day. Sergeant Major Vines. Was he there when you were there?
Oh, man. Shoot.
I think he retired right before you. So, okay.
Is he kind of like nicer white boy? Kind of like gummy.
No, he is a massive black dude.
All right. So far off, bro.
And he was, and I know there's going to be tons of Marines screaming at me on the other end of this podcast right now going, I can't believe Wood doesn't know who Vines is. So I'm going to explain it for anybody who don't know, because this was after your generation. So my generation, 08, was the last of the Vines. Okay. Sergeant Major Vines was a huge black dude, and he was actually in 5th Marines at a time. He was in Mateo, and he was a stickler for the rules. If he caught you outside the PX, your uniform jacked up, anything, he would scream at you and stop you on the spot. So then, there for a time, he was at the School of Infantry. If you remember the School of Infantry right outside the Chow Hall, that's where the headquarters was in, I don't remember what area that was called. It wasn't Horno, because Horno was where Fox Company was. It wasn't Mateo, but I don't remember what that area was called. There was a name for it. But anyway, Vines would, if you were speeding through there, he had been known to jump on the hoods of cars. Vines was crazy, bro. He, like I said, he would jump on the hoods of cars and knife hand you through it. He was crazy. And so, and so anyway, Vines was there in, okay, here's what I think happened. I think Sergeant Major Vines I think he retired around the time. He was there when I was there because I got yelled at him for something. I don't remember what it was. But Vines left, and then Sergeant Major Castle took over. And I don't know if you know who Sergeant Major Castle is.
Out of here. What?
Yeah. And actually, and now look, I'm going to tell the story on the podcast, and if it's wrong, if anybody knows, I would love to hear it. But we had a dude who was a sergeant in boot camp, and he was a black guy, and he had a stack of ribbons like this. He had 2 or 3 Purple Hearts. He had a stack of ribbons, dude. And somebody sent his name home, and somebody looked him up. And then their parents wrote back and said, "Do you know who your drill instructor is?" And we were like, we didn't know because, they don't tell you anything about him personally. Yeah. He was Sergeant Major Castle's radio operator. So when Sergeant Major Castle had that picture of him coming out of that house with the pistol hanging over, Sergeant Blair, which was his name, was one of the guys that was there with him. And he was a total badass. That dude could sing cadence like a motherfucker.
Bro, inside that kill house together, man. Imagine that bond, bro. That's some crazy stuff, man. Because I've read that after action like a dozen times, man. And every time I read it, I'm just like, dear God, bro. Like, how did you walk out of there? That shows the ferocity of Marine Corps brotherhood. They're like, I don't care what's in there. It could be hell itself. I'm going. And that dude just gets you going, man.
I guess this is time to ask this question. So you join the Marine Corps, you go to SOI. At this time, were you like, did Afghanistan ever even occur to you? Because I'm just gonna say this because like me growing up, like I read book 3-1 has a book. I can't remember the name of it. It's about the Battle of Fallujah with 3-1. I read that in high school. I was convinced. I was like, I love this. So like my thing was, it was Iraq. I want to go to Iraq everything. So like when we went to Afghanistan, I was like, where? Like, I knew what it was, but like, you think about it, all your instructors were pushing Iraq. They were like, you're gonna go in the kill house. You're gonna die first man through the door, 80% chance of not living, like all this shit, that's what's drilled into you. So then you go to Afghanistan and you're like, there's a few houses out here, but Hellman's.
There's like 3 huts.
But they didn't really, I don't remember in the School of Infantry them really talking about IEDs. Not that much. I think they did a little bit, like vehicle-borne IEDs or things like that, like checkpoints, but I don't remember ever them really talking about like pressure plate IEDs. And, that was the thing in Afghanistan.
Yeah, bro. I mean, we didn't touch an IED lane until we were doing Fleet Marine training. Like we were in our unit. We were doing our workup. I mean, as soon as we got to our unit, they told us like we were slated for a MEU. And they were like, everyone going to 2-4, y'all are doing a MEU, and we're all bummed. We're like, damn, bro, because there was a gang of us going to 2-4. There was like 3 dudes going to Hawaii, and they were supposed to go somewhere. So we're like, dang, bro, we're going to miss out. As soon as we hit the parade deck, because SOI, you go over the hill, literally over the hill, and that's where 62 area Camp San Mateo is. And we get the parade deck right there, or the parade deck first sergeant, I can't even remember his name. He was leaving that day, but
Mm.
he sees us and he's all chipper because he's getting out. You know? He's like, "Oh yeah, y'all are going to Afghanistan." So I'm like, "Cool, man." I mean, I have no idea where that's at. Sounds like a nice place. And then someone told me about it while we were walking to our barracks rooms for the first time. They're like, "Bro, it's like Iraq, but the country. Like it's just hills and people shooting at you, and that's it." I go,
Man,
"God
so
damn, bro."
yeah, like that's the thing is like, so we, you guys were, you were younger than me, so we went on the 11th MEU. So like that's why like I took the sniper and that's why me and my roommate Wallace, that's why we stopped, because we were like, screw it, we're going on a MEU, dude. Who wants to go on
Yeah.
2 MEUs in a row? And I'm gonna go be in the sniper platoon. I'm a senior Marine. Like I've done been on a deployment,
Yeah,
I was
bro.
like,
You're
I'm
gonna
not.
be a pig?
Yeah, and then and then a month later they changed it to Afghanistan, and I was like, damn. But which speaking, yeah, I know, I was so mad. But
I didn't know that, bro. That sucks.
yeah, well, speaking of snipers, though, I just want to say, while we got it, while I brought it up, today's the anniversary
Yeah.
of Benjamin Schmidt that got killed in
Schmidt.
action. Today, I think, 14 years ago? I think it was 14 years ago.
Yeah, man,
2011? Yeah,
2011. Yeah.
yeah, 14 years ago. So, anyway,
That's
rest in
wild,
peace, brother.
bro.
But,
Yeah,
yeah, ain't it
RIP,
though?
dude. I smoked with him at the smoke pit right before that, and then I was out, bro. I was outside the wire when all that went down.
Yeah,
And then like
yeah,
it was over the net. Everybody was freaking out. And Sergeant Matthew Smith, shout out. Best sergeant I think I've ever had in my life. That dude was like, I mean, as a leader, he definitely delivered that the right way. It was crazy. I've never had bad news delivered in a way where like he told us what was happening, but then like at the end of it was like, and this is why we got to keep fighting, guys. This is why we got to keep out here. And like it made it so like the homie didn't go out for no reason,
right,
like that.
right.
Like, yeah, Schmidt may be gone, and like at the time I was a boot, and like Schmidt's a senior. Back then, dude, I ain't talking to no Lance Corporal. Man, I'll get punched in
Yeah,
the throat, bro. So this dude, he was at the smoke pit talking to me. I thought he was hella cool, and even on field
yeah,
ops, he never smoked me on nothing. Like the dude was just he would watch me get destroyed, but dude never try to do anything mean to me. And it's real. And I was friends with Lance, and Lance was his boot, and Lance was
yeah,
my homie. And so like
yeah.
I got to go back. I had to like talk to Lance about it. So it's a whole crap sandwich. But yeah, R.I.P. Schmidt, man. You're a cool guy, man.
It's crazy how like, what platoon were you in?
Oh, I was dude, I got poured around a little bit. I was in Echo Weapons machine gun section. I was
Yeah,
with 3rd platoon. And then I got switched to 1st platoon to
first
where it was
platoon. 'Cause
we didn't have team leaders, gunners, and A gunners. You were just it. Like you had the
yeah,
240, you're the machine gun team.
yeah. I couldn't remember because I knew Smith was first platoon. That's why I asked. Because see that like, because you may know him, but Hewlett, he was my
Oh,
team leader.
Aaron? Yeah.
Yeah, Aaron. Yeah, yeah. So shout out Hewlett. I doubt you listening, but if you are, what's
You
up?
was a
Like,
bad little fucker.
dude, let me tell you something. I was going to do this podcast solo if you didn't come on,
Yeah.
cause, Graves was supposed to be on. I hope you're having fun camping, Graves. Anyway,
In work?
yeah, I don't know. But anyway, Hewlett was my senior, and dude, I was scared to death of that motherfucker because
Yeah,
he was
dude.
my team leader. Triplet was the squad leader, and but we
That's
had
a
a
squad, bro.
gangster. We had a gangster squad, dude. We were gangster, bro. But like, that was the thing is like, you look at like, cause I would have never like, don't get me wrong, like me and Hewlett had a great relationship, once you know how it goes. But
Yeah.
like at first, I remember there were like a couple corporals that they didn't have anything to do with you, because they wasn't in your immediate chain of command. And you
Yeah.
talk to him and you'd be like, man, he's so cool because he actually talks to me,
Yeah,
And
dude.
it's funny how you feel that way. Like you feel like, a less human being because you're like a PFC or whatever. It's hard to describe. Like people that are civilians probably won't never understand that. It's just a weird.
Nah, man. It's like
It,
it's literally like when your big brother's cool with you. You know, if
yeah,
anyone's had like a big brother and they're just always a dick. Like no matter what you do, this dude's just an asshole. And then there's that one time where like he might like have your back or something. And you're like, all right, bro, like that's pretty badass.
it's the thing is people say like people will be like, oh, the military, y'all are overly mean to people, but a lot of people don't understand is this in you don't, because when I went to the wing my second 4 years, when I lat moved and went to the air wing, it wasn't like that. Like when you get new guys, you teach them the job because the job is working on helos. So you can screw with them by being a boot, and don't get me wrong, we did.
Yeah,
But like you trust me, there's ways in the wing too, my friend. But
yeah,
but you teach them the job. So from day one, they're getting their qualifications. You're like, here's how you put this aircraft part together. But it's not intense discipline. And people don't understand in the infantry, that intense discipline serves an incredible purpose because when you're under fire or you're moving or whatever, and that team leader says jump, you better say how high and
yeah,
immediately,
yeah,
because it's life saving. And so people don't understand is it's not about just hazing. Now, there is grades of hazing that, trust me, everyone does, but like it serves a legit purpose, and that purpose is important. But anyway, you end up with first platoons. You
yeah.
got Smith, you got Renoa, you got Lieutenant, what's his name? Ah, Barrett. No,
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. It was Lieutenant
it,
Barrett, dude.
what's it?
Man, I got some mixed feelings about him. Yeah, it was Staff Sergeant Renoa, and Lieutenant Barrett, Adam Barrett. That's his freaking name,
Yeah,
dude.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
I,
I don't know.
you
He had like a
know,
problem with people.
here's the thing. My very first lieutenant, when I was a boot saw gunner, okay,
Yeah,
he hated my guts. And I'm pretty sure he did because when we went to Djibouti, Africa on the 11th MEU, he
yeah,
made it to where we couldn't rack rounds. We had to do a security mission to Djibouti because an LCAT got stuck on the beach.
oh
So we
yeah,
had
yeah,
to sit out there with live rounds. So it was counted. You had exactly 200 rounds in this drum. You bring it back to the armory. You cannot, do not lose a round out here. Well,
yeah.
he made it to where we couldn't keep the rounds on the feed tray on the saw. So he made us hang them on the side. So if somebody would have come up and attacked us, I would have had to open the feed tray, put the rounds on,
Oh my
close the feed
fucking
tray, and
god.
rack the gun. Yeah, dude, so stupid. So anyway, well, what do you think happened in the middle of the night? Somehow shuffling back and forth on post, going out there and then coming back off guard duty for 24 hours, I snapped off 3 rounds. So we get back to the ship and I only have 97 rounds. And or 197, he
Yeah,
has a
yeah.
complete meltdown.
Oh shit.
And then my team leader, cause it's down in the well deck in the ship and it's filled with like 2 foot of water. Hewlett's
Yeah.
got me down there low crawling in the water looking for these rounds, even though they were never going to be there, you know? And Hewlett, if you're listening, I forgive you, brother, but everybody was just, cause Bozo, Lieutenant over here, is getting his ass reamed about the armory. So he's reaming platoon sergeant's ass. They're reaming everyone's ass. So of
Yeah,
course my ass is definitely going to get reamed. God, I'm pretty sure Hewlett hated me for that bullshit. But anyway, I'm sorry.
yeah,
But yeah, so you just never know. Like the thing is I seen Barrett out from under you guys because I knew him as, kind of an older Marine as a corporal.
yeah,
He was okay. I'll put it to you this way. I watched Barrett in multiple situations under duress in a combat environment
yeah,
make really good decisions. And I could see the fear on his face. He legitimately
yeah,
cared for
yeah.
you guys. And he was kind of a character. One of those lieutenants that like, you're not sure. You're like, I don't know. Like, I don't know how I feel about this guy.
That dude, I felt this. I'm glad you said that because I have battled with that for like
Yeah.
10 years, bro. Because
Yeah.
the whole time you watch these movies and these guys like really respect their lieutenant
Yeah.
or they like really hate him. And so
Yeah.
I'm over here like, bro,
Barrett never did anything that I like disagreed with, except I will say this one thing, and I have to say this, and I will go on record saying this, okay?
It's gonna be on record.
So, I'm sure there's embarrassing combat stories about me out there, but I'm in this night ambush with Barrett and Sergeant Ryan Prosper. Shout out Prosper. You were the second best sergeant. But we're right there at the Wadi, and right where it starts to be Caraway, right? So we're about a click and a half from our command outpost outside the wire. And we're in these little compounds and huts trying to stage a night ambush because we got word that these fools are taking the Wadi at night on these mopeds. We're going to smoke them, whatever, dude. You know, like, what are you doing out here at 3 a.m, fool? Or at least wrap them up.
Right.
So we had a neighboring squad out somewhere. I can't remember which squad it was. I want to say it was second. But they were, probably like 500 meters to a click away from us doing some satellite patrolling. And for those who don't know, satellite patrolling gets very hard to control as like one group. You have a lot of mini groups inside your one group. So they're all satellite patrolling, and they're like, we need to get comms with these guys. Like Barrett and Prosper, I can hear them talking. They're like, we need to get comms because like they could be patrolling, and what if we think it's them and we hit them? Because then it could happen, bro. That stuff happened a lot in Vietnam. I wouldn't say a lot, but more than it should have. So we're trying to avoid this blue on blue, this fratricide. And Barrett looks up Prosper. What's up?
For those of you who don't know, blue on blue is shooting your own people.
Yeah.
So that's what we call.
Yeah. Same team, not a good day.
Yeah, not a good day.
So Prosper and Barrett are taking it, and Barrett's like, hey, we should break a chem light and throw it in the middle of the Wadi, and that will mark our ambush position so that this, second squad won't walk in our area. They'll know it's us. This was the most tactful thing I've ever seen a sergeant do. Because what he wanted to do was grab Barrett by the ears and say, listen, stupid bitch, it's nighttime. What are you talking about? You want to throw a glowing object into the darkness where we are. Cool.
And mark our position.
Yeah, dude. He's just like, hey, sir, I don't think that's the best idea because they could probably see that. It was so nice. And keep in mind, Sergeant Prosper was terrifying. I'm not even kidding. I was more scared. I was about as scared of Sergeant Prosper as I was of my own drill instructors and my own father. The dude was terrifying. He'd been to like 8,000 combat tours, all of them. Wherever there was combat, that's where he was, bro. The dude was insane. And he's over here holding it down and holding it together professionally with, Lieutenant Barrett. And Lieutenant Barrett was a great leader. Hands down was there, hooking and jabbing. Right, he was a 0311 dog. He's 0311 with a freaking, officer insignia on. The dude was legit. But that was some dumb shit. 100%. What the hell are you thinking, dude? You went to college.
So, it's funny because, like, it's so funny because, I'm gonna offset this. Do you remember Lieutenant Bennett?
Oh, dude, my weapons platoon guy, short man.
Okay, so Bennett. Okay, so you'll like this story then. I didn't know he was a weapon. I didn't know who Bennett was because, my position where I was, Bennett, but he ended up being like one of the lieutenants. So one of these operations we went out on, we started getting shot at. This was the first time I ever got shot at. So we're sitting there and rounds start zinging around the truck. Well, this is my very, very first time getting shot at. So rounds zinging by the truck. What do? I lay down behind the tire. And Bennett rolls up behind me and he's like, what the fuck are you doing? And he like grabs me by my back and jerks me up. And he was like, bro, you're presenting your entire body as a target. And if that round, of course, dings off the bottom of the truck, it's going to get you. Looking back now, I'm like, what a dumb ass move, but like, you don't know, this is the first time. So it's like some of these lieutenants, it's like I feel like that they try so hard that like certain times they're excellent and they do great. But then other times they like overanalyze because they went to college and it's like, bro, what we used to say in the wing? We used to say this. We used to say it takes a college degree to wreck an aircraft, but it takes a bunch of GEDs to put the bitch back together again.
that's that's what we used to say
That's
because
about as true as it gets, dude.
I mean,
Oh man.
but anyway, so so you you're with First Platoon, y'all go out. Now where did you guys so third went to Salam Bazaar. Okay.
Yeah.
Second platoon, I don't even remember where they went.
Oh, they went to Reggae, dog.
Was it Reagan? Okay. I
That was
can't
like
I
it
do
was. They like weren't doing. They weren't doing a whole like they were doing a lot, but they weren't getting after a lot at the beginning until
mhm.
Reggae. That whole operation went down, and
Yeah.
they were shooting
Yeah.
so much 7.62 that I had to go out there with my boys and give
Damn.
them saws, bro,
Where
because
was
they had
reggae? Where was reggae at? Because like I went to
dude,
everywhere. I just God, this TBI I had, dude, it kills my long term memory. Okay, where are we talking? I'm gonna blame it on that.
dude,
It's probably
I could be dead ass wrong on this, but I want to say I want to say East. I want to say it was like an
East.
Eastern gig
Okay,
because
okay,
we had
okay,
the saw.
okay. So Salam Bazaar was in between Nowzad and Shergazi, which was north of the base.
Yeah,
Okay, and then east towards. I think I know where you're talking about. I don't think I ever went out there much. I think I might have went out there a couple times, but
it was
I don't
legit,
think.
bro. Like it was
Yeah.
real, a lot more fire. Like Salam Bazaar, a lot more. It was a shoot load of action.
Where was First Platoon at?
Caraway was like our baby. We turned. It was like we used Shergazi, like the command outpost, which is not huge. It's not very like small either. It's super distinguishable. It's like a little mini base, like a little mini camp. Outside or within or outside the city limits of Shergazi. And then into Shergazi, you have the bazaar, and you push down. There's Mushazi, which is more towards this big, for lack of a better term, ugly hill, and that was the name, was Ugly
Yeah.
Hill. When we got there, it was a Taliban stronghold. Like they were up in that bitch, dude, and we couldn't we couldn't even go 400 meters to like 800, about like half a mile outside the wire without getting lit up. And it
No,
got,
dude,
it was ridiculous, bro. Like, I remember they said the unit before us, they're like, we just lived that way. I'm like,
bro. I'm telling. See,
no.
that was the thing I didn't understand. Like John and me really didn't get into it on the
Yeah.
first episode. But we talked about this, but like and I mentioned that our helicopters were getting shot at. Dude, you're talking the LZ, the company position, and
Yeah.
your security bubble is nil, nothing. And like,
Nothing, bro.
look, I mean, like nothing against that unit. Okay, I kind of thought that was kind of crazy. I was like,
I did too, bro.
but I do wonder, we don't know the ins and outs because if you remember, there was a big incident on that base. I think maybe the
Yeah.
battalion commander had locked them down and basically said,
It had to have been it, bro.
it just didn't make any sense, man. I mean, like, I don't think I've ever heard that many stories of Marine units ripping with other units and being like, yeah, that unit was garbage. And
It was
part of me
wild, bro.
part of me thought maybe that like maybe some guys got hurt and they were kind of like fuck it, and they were like we're not going to do anything. I don't know, but yeah, that was pretty
Yeah.
wild. So y'all go out there, we take Ugly Hill. That was Caraway.
Yeah, and something people don't know. So the whole Nowzad Ninja, I brought that up earlier. It's where you puke and poop a lot. Basically, for 3 days, you're gonna lose your soul. I hadn't gotten it yet, and everybody was getting it, bro. And we were like all doing PCCs and PCIs, bro. And my little tummy starts rumbling, dude. And I'm like, oh no, we're about to go on this huge op, and it's like a movie. The CEO's going with us. He's like, we're gonna put these letters. Shout out, Captain Quinn. You are the fucking man. Seahorse Nation till I die, dog. But this fool had letters that said, like, we're coming to Ugly Hill. Don't be here at this time. Basic stuff, right? And
Yeah.
we're going to go into these people's houses and like sneak it in the windows. And we did that shit. And he did it. Our company commander really did that shit right in front of me, bro, in the Taliban stronghold. But as he's doing that, I start shitting my pants. Like, genuinely, my frog gear, which is like thinner camis, I'm just soaking it up, bro. and it's going right down my frog gear. I got my boots bloused, tucked in, basically, for those who don't know what that means. And I got my pants rolled up over my boots. So all of the poo is going now into the back of my boot and now into my socks, which was real fun. So we had to do the rest of the patrol. And I start puking. And I look over at Lance Corporal Benson at the time. Right? Benson was cool.
Hell yeah.
Shout
out Benson.
Dude, and he's like, hey, Wood, drink some water. That's all he said. I'm over here losing my soul. And he's telling you, hey, drink some water, bro. We did the whole patrol. We go back. We patrolled for 6 hours after that, bro. And by that time, my poo had crusted over into like the moon dust.
Hell yeah.
And it was bad. We had those diapers too, man. Don't forget that. I had those last panties on and I had the diaper on.
Let me tell you, dude. Let me tell you, since you were first platoon, okay, when Fox, was Fox in first?
Yeah, he was my squad.
Okay. So when Fox stepped on that IED, okay,
yeah,
I had to take his gear apart. The magazines were bent like a banana.
One of the first things, I mean, I'll talk about this because I guess I should. I never told anybody this really or publicly, but Fox's scream when he got hit, it still plays in my mind to this day. Like clear as day, bro. I've never, until that moment, I had like never heard a grown man scream like that. And like I've been in some violent encounters in my life before that, you know? And that's something I had just like to this day still kind of shakes me. And the nights where it's like, I start thinking, did anything really bother me about the Afghanistan? Yeah, not really too bad, but that one gets to me, you know? And because I heard the blast. I was on the other side of the wall, but I saw parts of Fox fly up into the air. Like I saw meat. Yeah. And then the screams and stuff and pulling security and everybody, the whole team's covered in his blood. The entire team. Like Franco, who's that guy we call him? Slink. Hoover.
Yeah.
Fucking Hoover was just trying his best to put us in secure positions to, you know, hold a LZ. Same thing.
So for those of you who don't know what we're talking about, Fox was one of our guys. He was a double amputee, stepped on an IED, got blown up. Thank God. I think Hoover got a Valor Award for that terrible circumstance. But I remember when that happened because that was our first IED, well, besides the EOD guy that me and John talked about taking Ugly Hill when he stepped on that IED. But, you know, EOD, you don't really know, you know the guys, but, you know, they're not from your
like
unit.
Attachments, man.
Yeah, but like when Fox got hit, we were like, shit. You know, that's when you're just like, man, it's going down. Like, this is real.
That's when it got real. 100%. That's when it got real. Because at the time, we gotten shot at, you know, a little bit, but this was the first time, because this wasn't it. This was like, you got to think like Fox hit the ID. We got him out of there pretty quick, not going to lie.
Yeah.
But as soon as we got him out of there, Roger Ussery, I think that's his name.
Ussery.
Probably the best infantry marine I've ever seen in my life for that rank. Dude was crazy. Like, just really smart. He was next to me and I'm like holding down the wadi, right? Like I'm holding south down the wadi and I got the ridge line across the wadi. And he's like, hey, be careful because once they take Fox away on the bird, on the helicopter, they're going to ambush us. Because Ursa already had like ass loads of combat experience, bro. And this like in the area. So he knew what time it was. Dude, as soon as that bird took off, freaking lit up me, lit up Moda, lit up Earth, just lit us all up. And my one man moment, I've never, for anyone who said you can't hip fire the 240 in combat, you're a bold faced liar. I've done it more times than you've blinked. Dude, it is the best thing. Like that is the most American I will ever be in my entire life. I will never be cooler than that moment. But that was real shit, dude. When Fox got hit like that, that's when the combat in that area really kind of started being a lot more kinetic. Meaning just like a lot more volume. We were getting shot at more frequently, and this was like the winter. They're supposed to be chilling. Like Ramadan's going on. It's like their Christmas time. They're 12 days of Christmas. They're supposed to be kicking back, but here they are in, man dresses and flip flops in the mud shooting at my stupid ass. And I'm over here running with 100 pounds of gear, just trying not to die at 19. There's a whole world, bro.
You were a little dude. I mean, how much do you weigh back then?
Oh, Jesus, bro. 135, 130.
Yeah, shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, me and you were about the same, about 135, dude. And it's like you put that flak jacket on, all that ammo on, and then you throw a backpack, and then you grab a machine gun. Motherfucker, you carrying yourself.
That's what I'm saying, bro. And like you had guys like Fox, for example. Fox was a unit, and you had Bales, Joshua Bales.
Bale was a unit.
All of my seniors looked like the Aryan Brotherhood, bro. They were just jacked and just added beyond belief, man. It was ridiculous. They were mean.
Yeah.
Good on them.
Yeah.
Good
Bale was definitely, he was a jack dude. I used to watch that guy in the gym, bro. He was crazy. Incredible.
Carry limb from limb, bro. Grappling that fool is like grappling a fucking silverback. It was ridiculous.
Man, that's crazy. So, okay. You go through that. Is there any time where you're like, this is it? Like,
oh yeah,
a firefight. Okay, let's get.
I thought about this today, and I probably think about this every time I'm not feeling very grateful for things. Because I got a pretty checkered past, I was an addict after the Marines and stuff. So like, I remember being at Ugly Hill. We had taken it. We had done the damn thing. The tally was, they were out. But every once in a while, they'd come back and they'd attack us, right? Well, we had gotten a little comfy. We weren't even wearing gear at Ugly Hill. I mean, we had no body armor on, no helmets. The guys on post were the only ones rocking that stuff, which is, like, we all should have been wearing it. We all knew it. Even, Lieutenant Barrett's out there and just in his blast panties, not his blast panties, but his little diaper.
Yeah.
The ballistic one. Dude, so, like, we get lit up, bro. One day we just start getting smoked. And it's high angle because the way the rounds are coming and hitting the ground in front of you and pushing that dirt up in front of your face, it's not, kind of a flat angle shot. So you're like, oh shit, they're above us, bro. And we're on the hill, which means they gotta be close or they gotta be lobbing these rounds one way or another. These sneaky bastards are figuring out how to shoot us. And I had no gear on. I grabbed my 240 and I run up to the little ECP gate at the front. And there's rounds all over that Hesse bear. I'm wearing nothing, bro. I'm out there just raw wood, dude. Just out here living. Get the 240 going. And these are ghosts. We all know this. If you've ever shot the Taliban, they're gone as soon as they shoot at you. So you just it's like hunting whitetail, essentially, bro. You go out with a slingshot. You go out there, they're gone. And so I'm getting lit up from every angle. And I told God at that moment, I was like, if you get me out of this, like if I just don't die, I don't care if I get shot, but I just don't die, I will spend the rest of my life trying to help people whenever I, get out or whatever. I did not fucking keep that promise, but I did, however, I got out of that. That was hairy, man, because those rounds, if anyone's been shot at, if it's like, it's not like the movies where it's just kind of like whiz, whiz, like a crack. A snap is like, it's like a snap and a crack. There's two different variations. One's going to be like over your head. The other's going to be like kind of within 6 inches to 12 inches. So a foot away from your face. But then there's this certain round. My team leader my squad leader, McClung, almost got smoked one time, where it gets so close to you, not a certain round, but a certain way of getting shot at, where it gets so close to you where you can feel the heat of the vapors off the round.
Yeah.
Dude, when you get to that level, like, that's close, bro.
That's very close.
Yeah, man.
That's super close.
That's probably the top time, honestly. I mean, because we had been, I've been around IED blast and RPG blast they're not very good shots, to be honest with you. But I've been around some stuff to where they were dropping little grenades on us at, was it Mama Carez? Now they were dropping grenades over the walls at us, and I've been some close quarter shit in there. Dude, that was at that time. Yeah, I would say that's right up there too. At that time
Mama
we were like all
Perez.
in that. Yeah, bro, we were all in this one compound, and I got to talk about this because there's a lot of context that gets lost in this moment with people who were there. So we're all in this compound, and
Hold on,
dude,
is this Mama Perez?
yeah, bro.
Okay, so Mama Perez is making a second appearance because that's what John talked about.
Dude, I'm not gonna lie,
Okay.
it was the craziest shit.
It was a crazy spot.
Well, the whole thing, I'll try to keep it as short as I can. The whole thing kicked off, bro. I'm with Moda, Doc, Smith, the Mormon, and it's just us three. In the back, we did some stupid shura, and they're all like, "There's no Taliban here." And the women and children are leaving by the dozens. So we're like, okay, that's a fat lie. This guy comes around the corner, peeks at us. Moda's like, hey, I think I saw a guy over there. I don't like this. And I laugh it off. I'm like, whatever, fool. Like, we're about to get lit up in my head. Sure as fucking shit, dude. This dude pops the corner and he sends 10 meters away. Sends a whole AK mag at me, Doc Smith, and Moda. Misses all three of us, bro.
God.
Misses it. Yeah, bro. So we're like, oh shit. And then it just all pops off. And I'm sure Graves went into it, but it was basically it was war, bro. It was just everything.
No, Graves hasn't come on. Graves is camping.
Oh,
that's why you're on. Yeah, you're going to be on before Graves.
I won't ruin too much. Yeah, Graves is he's got a cool story, bro. But at Mama Perez, bro, it was a recoilless rifle. So you're basically getting a rocket shot at you. That sucks.
Yeah.
And we were getting a Dishka rounds fired at us, which is a Russian 50 cal. You were getting medium machine gun fire, small arms fire from the top of the huts, the streets, just everywhere, bro. They were dropping grenades from the top of the alleyways over the walls at us, so they were funneling us. And at one point they had us, Staff Sergeant Renault smoked this guy he like T-boxed him, bro, right in the fucking head. I mean, I caught a glimpse of it. We were bounding, together, and he was my buddy. So we're running, it's getting kind of crazy and popping off. And as before, I keep running, he pies the corner and smokes the dude. I fucking got that fool, bro. It was pretty legendary. I wish I would have got to see more of it, but we ended up in the compound, right? The compound's like this big yard we're all in. And at the point, I'm like, dude, this is wild. No one's holding security. Dudes have their backs to the wall, right? So I'm over here screaming. Like, I'm thinking, I just learned what air was, bro. Like 2 days ago as a Lance Corporal, I learned what air was. Air being like, we got air, meaning the helicopters are going to show up and just start smoking people. Or the Taliban will see the helicopters and be like, fuck that. I am not fighting them. And
time to roll out.
So I'm over here, and I'll fully admit, was I losing my shit slightly? 100%. 100%, dude. This shit was wild. This was fucking wild, dog. I'm over here. We need air, bro. We need fucking air. Ursary, and I'll give him props. Cool as cucumber, looks at me. He's like, hey, we're in a firefight. Kind of losing a little bit. Chill out. You're good. Boom, back in action, dog. And
this dude straight up says we're losing a little bit.
No, he's like, you're losing it a little bit. Just chill out. You're good, dog.
Oh, okay.
Dude, but it brought me down. It really did work. Yeah. I was immediately I was at 8.5, and then I went to probably a 5. All right, cool. It wasn't that I was quote unquote losing my mind. It was the fact that no one's holding security and they were just dropping grenades over walls at me, bro. So it was a little spicy at the moment. But the whole platoon was in there, bro. And then we had to have weapons company roll up and save our dumbasses. Dude, they shot at us on the helicopter at night, and we had to run in white light in Afghanistan, bro. In Afghanistan at night, on a LZ, you're getting extracted with a fucking flashlight. And I was right behind Lieutenant Barrett. He had to make a call, bro. We were going to miss that LZ 100%. Yeah. We were 500 meters, probably 200 meters away, and we just sprinted that last bit, bro. They were still shooting at us as we were taking off, man. They fucking hated us there.
I finally just put it together. Turner was in your platoon then.
Turner. Oh, John?
Yeah, John.
John Turner, the FO, the Viking of Cincinnati. Dude, he
Yeah,
lives
he was
20 minutes away
he
from me.
yeah, he was on the first episode.
That's the John you're talking about.
Yeah, yeah.
That guy's
So
awesome, bro.
so when he told that story about Mislov saying, "Hey, throw that grenade," that was okay. So that explains it. Okay, because I was like, what other platoon went to Mama Carez? Because I didn't think any of I think the other platoons were there, but I think first platoon. I think y'all got.
It was it, bro.
Yeah, y'all. I don't want to say y'all got spanked out there, but like y'all got.
Bro, that was a gut check. It showed me real fast that, like, dude, if there's a lot of them, and if they have what we have, it's a long fucking day. Like, they didn't. I will say this: they didn't kill a single one of us
right
that day, or they didn't even shoot one of us. Even our bomb dog made it out of that shit, dude. Like, that was pretty cool. You know, I thought that thing was getting smoked right off the rip, and the thing made it, bro. And wasn't there one dog that, anyways?
Well, hold on. Wait, I need to know, because I was thinking about it after the episode with John. Your dog handler, was it Wilkins?
No, it was Benson, bro. Remember he had that dog that got capped?
That's right, yeah. Okay,
I was
so
trying not to bring it up.
Okay, so I didn't get to talk to John about it, but I figure I'll talk to you about it, because I got a story to tell about Benson. I need to get him on here, but...
You have to. That's a good Marine.
Benson, when does Benson get shot?
It was like after I had left third squad and got moved to first squad.
Okay.
So I wasn't with Benson when he got hit.
So Benson got hit in the sappy.
Yeah.
Okay, and then a piece of the sappy went inside of him. So
I did see that. Yeah, the wound.
So on the ground, everyone's assuming he got shot. So after he gets medevac, the MO, the medical officer, comes up to me and a couple other guys in the main position, and he's super pissed. And we're like, what are you pissed about? And he's like, y'all wasted a medevac on Benson. And we were like, what? You know, because, like, dude got shot. Who cares? Like, I mean, what did you want us to do? So then he proceeds to tell us that it wasn't, in fact, a bullet wound, that it was a piece of the sappy. And he was like, next time somebody gets shot, you need to stick your finger in it to make sure it's a gunshot wound. And I remember me and the other guy looked at each other, and I was like, if you stick your finger in a gunshot wound, I'm going to punch you in the face. Dude.
Yeah, bro. If I was sappy plate in me, get a fucking helicopter. I don't care. Don't listen to that man. I don't care what he knows.
He was a great guy. And he that guy had seen some shit, from what I understand, in Iraq. But he was crazy. I don't remember the medical officer's name. I think it was Rodriguez. Yeah, I think it was Lieutenant or Captain Rodriguez. I don't remember. But anyways, so what would you have rather? Would you have rather got shot or stepped on an IED? I'm pretty sure I already know the answer.
100% shot.
Yeah.
I don't even care where. Honestly, I don't even give a fuck where. I have seen enough people get blown up where you're like, dude, you don't want that. I've seen dudes get shot, you know, and it's like, hey man, like, that's bad, but that looks really bad. Like the hamburger meat legs looks pretty terrifying, and there's just a lot of structural damage after that. I know a bullet can do that. Like, we had that one kid, weapons company, he got shot in the neck and the bullet split in two, boom, came out the other side.
Dude, I heard about that. What? So he got shot in the neck.
Yeah.
It split.
Yeah.
And didn't hit nothing vital.
No, that's called Jesus right there, bro. Fucking Jesus loves you, dude. That's why I've never heard of any, other than, like, I've had some rounds where, like, I was running across the wadi and there's a leaf and then the leaf got shot. Like,
wow.
You know, so, but that doesn't really compare to, like, it going into your body, splitting and exiting. Man, I forgot who that was, but that's one tough bastard. Pun intended.
Dude. I mean, yeah, because, like, that's what John was talking about was, Ladder, that round skimmed his leg, and he's like, went through the ESS case. If you think about Ladder, that was like 4 inches over or a couple inches over from being a femoral artery, or
Yeah, he didn't
or
have a
just
lot of
anywhere
meat
in
on
the
him.
thigh.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. I
But
mean,
he had to walk too. I still tell people about that, dude. I'll be I worked some construction crews and I hear some guys complaining. I'm like, listen, homie, I had a dude one time named Ladder, as tall as can be, and he got smoked in the leg and they made his ass walk back. All right. So I don't want to hear anything about the company doesn't like me, bro. Oh, they
yeah,
love you.
I find that so funny that we would medevac like a Afghani, right,
Oh
or
my God.
something for like a cold or a flu, but
Yeah.
you're not gonna waste a helicopter on a guy,
Nah,
even
bro.
if it was just to bring him back, But I guess it was a flesh wound. But I mean, he's got a badass story though, because that's pretty tight.
Yeah. And I talked to the guys who were out there, because you know how like when you're a boot, you like kind of want to like hear some shit about your seniors of like,
Yeah,
yeah, I mean, he acted like a straight bitch, bro. Fucking, there was just none of that. The entire deployment, I never heard of any of my seniors acting like dishonorably, cowardice, just nothing, bro. And I really respected that at the end because there were some people out there who you heard about and you're like, oh, so that person isn't about that life. Now,
yeah,
there's a difference in some people are a little bit cautious and some people are just straight up, they won't even squeeze the trigger, brother. And you got crazy fools like, Corporal Austin, who's just, that dude terrified me, bro. And he was just in a firefight. If we were getting shot at, that fool sent all his magazines. It just everything. 2 or 3 rounds. They're 1,000 meters away, and you got him just slinging 40 Mike out there, bro.
bro. Excuse me. This is so I don't remember, but this was one of our final operations. I think it was the second to the last. We went all the way down there where Sus hit that IED out that way. I don't remember, but we were building a new position. And we were in this position, and there was an ESB truck who was pushing dirt up because we were building this random OP. And all of a sudden, me and Griswold are sitting in the back of the COC headquarters truck. Yeah. And all of a sudden, we hear the 50 cal start just hammering off. And we're like, hey, bro, we need to go find out where this is coming from. So then we get out of the truck. We climb up on the back of the house so we can see over the hill. And this OP observation post that we're building is on top of a massive hill, so there's a city below it. Well, the 50 cal is just nailing rounds down towards this random wall. Me and Griswold are like looking through our ACOG. We can't figure out what he's shooting at. We're like, we're on the radio like, what are you shooting at? Well, then the ESB driver who's in the bulletproof bulldozer gets out of the bulldozer, shoots like 900 meters with his AR-15. And I'm like, this bitch is out here trying to get his combat action ribbon, dude.
Yes! War!
And so the funny thing is, me and Griswold creep up to the top of the roof. So we're standing, and the roof, we're in the defilade side, so it's covering most of our body. And we're sitting there, we're looking over, and we're trying to figure out. All of a sudden, we start hearing snaps and cracks, and Griswold's like, bro, they're shooting at us. So then a round comes and hits immediately dick level with me on the other side of the roof, and me and Griswold look at each other, and then we just bust out laughing, and we're like, we out, dude, we're getting the fuck off this roof. So we get off the roof, we get back down there, and somebody was mad. I think they were looking for me, but I remember Captain Flynn, he got on the radio and he's like, what the fuck is that driver doing? And we're like, he's getting his car, bro. Like, he's in it.
He probably popped out just one hand and just started slinging his leg. King Kong ain't got shit on me, son.
I want to find that engineer support battalion, like, bulldozer dude, and I want to know how he tells that story. Because
like, well, what did you see that he thought needed that?
Like, I want to hear that from your perspective, man. Like, I just want to know how crazy that sounds. He probably told a badass story, though.
Oh, he's probably like, they were enveloping on us. We were surrounded. Now it's just me out there, me and the dozer, bro. Me and the dozer and the rifle. Yeah, bro. Dude, probably the worst I was ever hazed in my entire existence was in Afghanistan, was right before that Ugly Hill push.
Oh,
And I remember we were talking shit about Lieutenant Bennett.
yeah.
100% man, sorry for this to this day, because I was just trying to be cool. I was up on post with John Reddy. We're smoking cigarettes at night, no MVGs. MVGs were up. We were shitbags. And dude, we're just complaining about everybody, and we start talking about Lieutenant Bennett, and he's my weapons platoon commander. I'm like, yeah, dude, T-Rex looking bitch, whatever, blah, 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 blah. uh, I just started going in on him, bro. And from the bottom of the post, I hear, you want to talk shit, Wood? I'm like, holy fuck, no way. Dude, Lieutenant Bennett's at the foot of our post.
Oh,
And
dude.
he calls my seniors. He gets Sergeant Smith up there. He didn't even make eye contact with me when he came on that post. I knew I was
Oh,
really fucked, bro. Smith comes up on the post, dude, and he's just like taking over my post, tells us to get off the post. And I see all of my seniors, fucking Bales, Alstein, Benson, Staff Sergeant Renault, the devil him fucking self, dude. And they just hazed me, and they hazed us all through the night into the morning, bro, until
man.
morning chow.
Oh, my God.
Yeah. And I'm talking real hazing, skull dragging. Like, this is in country. This is what people don't realize. Like, my boots and shit would be like, when are we gonna stop being boots? I'm like, bitch, never. Like, I was a
Never.
boot till the day I got back on the fucking parade deck, man. Just forever, you're a boot. Get used to it. But nah, man, I gotta say, out of everything in Afghanistan, those donkeys were probably the stupidest damn thing they'd probably tried on us,
Oh,
dude.
oh, okay. So I forgot all about that. So I remember this. So I remember being in the operations meeting because I was the operations officer. So,
Yeah, dude, you were the cool
so
NCO, dog.
no, I was only the cool NCO because
Yeah.
I'll put it to you this way: when I was a boot, excuse me, the guy who was the armory guy was his name Corporal Lai. He was this Asian dude, super
Yeah.
cool. But I remember him being so cool. So, like, I don't know. At that time, I didn't have any junior Marines, so it didn't matter. You know what I mean? Like, I don't have any reason to be a dick to y'all. I did participate in a bunch of the games that your seniors played on you. Like,
100%. Yeah.
if they were like, hey, send so-and-so to the armory to get this, I'll be like, all right. And then they'd be like, call me when he gets there. And I'm like, all right, you're just fucking with, you're helping with the games.
Yeah.
But, so I remember in the operations meeting that Flynn and them were like, hey, we're going to get these donkeys. And they were so excited about it, dude. They were like, yeah, these donkeys are going to carry the extra weight on patrol. And then we're going to feed them. And then, like, I don't even remember if it was some deal with the locals. I had all the insider information. And I remember, like, asking one of y'all, I don't remember, it was after they started. I never had to go on patrol with the donkeys. But, but I remember y'all bitching about it because y'all were like, this is the dumbest idea ever. All right, so now that we have the backstory, how did it actually work out?
Holy shit, bro. We're at Ugly Hill, and like we hadn't like taken it yet. It was, still a little hot in the streets out there. And so I'm from Missouri, bro. They have like llamas and shit. Like I didn't like have farm animals, but I was just around them a lot. And so I knew, like, dude, donkeys are terrible. Like they're assholes. Like if a donkey doesn't want to move, it's not going anywhere. I tried to explain this to them. And then John Reddy, the native guy, he had my back. He's like, yeah, this is going to be a bad day. 100%. Bro, we get out there. This donkey didn't want to move, and we're in the hub of Ugly Hill at night. Lieutenant Barrett is like this college football star, and he's trying to yank on this lead rope of this donkey, and it's just giving him all kinds of hell, bro. So he looks at me, he's like, Wood, come here. He tries. So I set down my 240. Now a machine gun's out of the fucking fight. And I'm over here doing my little Missouri backwoods voodoo magic, like, come here, trying to do the whole damn 9
Oh my
yards.
God.
It's basically giving me the finger, doesn't care, and just wants no part of me, starts getting kind of aggressive. And by this point, like, we're risking actual compromise. We're not like a stealth unit by any means, but we're trying to keep some sort of stealth. Bro, I gave up. I just grabbed my 240, went back on security, and it probably took an hour, bro. An hour at night. Lost time, lost ops for this donkey to move. And then it got to the point where it couldn't even carry its own food and water. So it's
That's
no
what I
longer
heard.
that animal, bro. It can't even, it's not even sustaining its own life force. And then they froze. They froze to death. No one thought this through out there in Afghanistan, but it gets balls ass cold in the winter. And they had a donkey pen that these dumbasses built, right? These stupid, I can't believe this. They built a donkey pen in the middle of winter with no overhang, no cover, no wind blockage, right?
Did y'all even have hay for these donkeys?
Yeah,
I mean,
guess who carried it? We did.
Okay.
Stupid as hell. We had pets. We basically had pet donkeys that didn't want to move and just loved getting shot at.
Yeah, for those of you who don't know, it was like 110 degrees when we got there, and it snowed in the wintertime.
Yeah.
So then it got... Dude, I can't... I remember thinking that one of them donkeys is going to step on an IED, and then it's going to blow up a bunch of our guys, and that was going to be the dumbest decision we ever made. Like, 100%. I was convinced.
I don't know why I honestly think that one of them read that 12 Strong book and got a hard on for those horse soldiers and was like, guys, like I read this book while I was in college and we could do this. And then here we fucking are with donkeys in Afghanistan that's what happens.
Hey man, look, I read the 12 Strong book. Now I read a lot of military books and that is a great book.
Pretty fantastic. Not gonna lie.
I will say that the knockoff Timu version that we were trying to do was not going to work.
Yeah, man. It's definitely, as far as Afghanistan went, that was the dumbest call our chain of command probably ever made. And if Captain Flynn made that call, sir, that was not a good one.
I will say that I don't know whether that call was his or not. I don't know if that was.
I don't feel like it would be, to be honest with you. I feel like that was just, dude he was in the fight with us. Like, this is what people don't realize, bro. Captain Flynn was side by side plenty of times next to me. Our battalion commander was right next to me when I got my first kill. Like, the first time I ever shot a motherfucker was with Ursary, Lieutenant Barrett, and Lieutenant Colonel Vivian.
Damn. So old Vivian was out there in the shit. I heard John was talking about it. Damn.
Bro, he was shooting PKMs, dog. He mid firefight, buddy rushing, PKM, just shooting, having a good time. Wild Bill Viv, honestly, was probably the last of his fucking kind, dog.
Yeah. I mean, you think about it. If Lieutenant Colonel Vivian was a lieutenant colonel in 2012 or around that time, or he was a colonel, I think he got promoted to colonel. But anyway, like, you think about it, he was a field grade officer through young Iraq. I mean, homeboy was probably kicking doors with a platoon in Fallujah, dude. Like, I mean, he was a salt dog, probably. I don't know, but I'm just assuming, like, yeah, that's the crazy thing is you never know. And, like, that was the thing is, like, our first sergeant, he was supply, Martinet, but he went out there and he got it too, dude. And you're just like, all right, dude, man, respect.
Dude, he was out there getting shot at, returning fire and saying, like, in between rounds, no joke, going, this is fun, on a high knee, getting shot at, just shooting back, yelling, doesn't give a shit, dude. That man, First Sergeant Martinet, I saw him years later. I was hammered drunk. I was like, First Sergeant Martinet! I'm all fucking hype, bro. I think I was a corporal, and he was like, it's Sergeant Major Martinet, and just didn't give me the time of day. Totally hurt my feelings, but I totally understand why. I was extremely unprofessional. I apologize, Sergeant Major. That dude was gangster for he was a Motor T feller, I think, wasn't he?
I thought he was supply. He could have been Motor T.
You probably know him better than me.
I don't know. I mean, yeah, that was the thing. Like, I knew Flint, because the job I had, I was PSD. So that was anytime Flynn went anywhere, we were rolling. Anytime he did anything that we needed to do for the company headquarters. We were out there, and I mean, you know, so like Flynn wasn't scared to go get in it because like you guys would get into a firefight, and Flynn would be like, "Hey, let's go! Like we're going," and I'm like, "All right, let's go," you know. So it was kind of cool because I kind of got to ride around with the brass. But I emailed Flynn the other day. He's still what's up? Yeah.
Yo, bro,
Yeah.
lunch pail dog. I still tell people about that dude. We thought that shit was so stupid until we were there. Okay. To this day, that's one of the coolest things a unit commander has ever done, bro. And I
He
wrote
still
the
does it.
dumbest thing.
No, he still
You
does
card
it.
we had to write?
Yeah. He put them all on the lunch pail. So what happened is Flynn's favorite college football team, I think it was Carolina, Virginia Tech, and so their defense, they did that. They had like a lunch pail they carried around. They put all their family members who they fight for, so to speak, and he adopted it, man, and he still does it because I checked his Instagram.
He still fucking does that. That's wild, bro.
Yeah, but like Flynn was a great guy, man. Like if I had to say, you know how you feel about Lieutenant Barrett, that's how I felt about Lieutenant Heinrichs. The XO.
Dude, that guy, I just never knew what was his problem. Like, dude,
bro, you know, without getting into, I don't know, I don't want to shit on Heinrichs, but like me and him, we didn't like each other, and I don't know why, but like, he did the way you say you felt about Lieutenant Barrett's kind of how I felt about Heinrichs. Like we just did not get along, but he always, I don't know if he was just under a ton of stress, and that could have been what it was.
Dude,
because I think Flynn rode him really hard. He rode all the officers really hard. Like you guys didn't get to see it, but I did. And let me tell you something. Like Flynn was I seen him chew them officers out many a times.
Yeah.
So. Yeah. Flynn was a go-getter, man, and he did not take no shit from any of them field grade officers, man.
Yeah.
None.
Dude, that's how it should be. Like there was no more captains like him after that, and it was, unless you could like recon or something, but that fool was jacked. He was in the fight, and we never saw him struggle. I'm sure that you probably saw him struggle, or like his lieutenants maybe saw him struggle emotionally here and there. But I'll tell you right now, man, that guy was fearless throughout. Like, I mean, he stood up in firefights, bro. The dude just stood there, cradled his M4, and helped organize. Or as someone was just observed, he would let the squad leader run the squad as the company commander and stand there and just watch it unfold and watch his boys work, man.
Yeah, I watched Flynn watch tactics. Like he would go out and then he would mentor those guys. He'd pull the lieutenants aside. I seen him do it. He would be like, "Hey, you know, you guys need to do this better. You got to do this better, or you know, you're going to get somebody killed." I mean, he was a teacher, and that's the one thing about Flynn I really respected. But yeah. All right, dude. So you get back. We're going long here. Okay, so.
Oh my goodness! I just saw the time, bro. It's 1:40.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
So we get back from Afghanistan. What happened after that? Like, so you stayed in 2-4 right for another deployment.
Yeah, dude. I was in 2-4 for like 8 more years after that.
Really?
Yeah, I became like the grand old man at 2-4. I just kept getting, I did like the 3 Mews after our Afghan pump, and then I got sent to range maintenance. I got back from range maintenance. It was kind of chill. I'm not gonna lie. I learned a lot about construction. That's honestly where my entire life is based kind of around right now. So
okay.
Yeah, it was like my intro to it, which I didn't mind, but I went from there to working at the IIT, and I don't know if you remember that. It's like that big, huge fake city, like a fake Afghanistan. And I ran that for like 2 years, man. I ran the insurgents in that area. I like taught them tactics. We trained to like fuck up units when they came through. Because I was shooting simunition single, like alone, against like a whole squad of SEALs, bro. So like they would come in and they expected a good time. They didn't just want to get like have some dumb grunt in there and get smoked. Like they wanted a dude who's gonna fuck their asses up, bro. So we would train relentlessly, man.
Man,
That was basically it, man. And then I got out and I fucking struggled, bro. I tried to go to college and it didn't work out well. I had like ruined the marriage that I had while I was in. I just tanked that by drinking all the time and being away. I started getting kind of mixed up in motorcycle clubs about a year before I got out. I got recruited by a guy who ran with an outlaw club out in Southern California. It was just like, hey man, do you ride? And I was, yeah. So I rode with him one day, bro. And I rode to the hood. I'm white as hell for listeners. And I rode to Vista off Thunder Drive. Anyone who's from there understands that area. It's pretty bad. It's not bad. It's just like it's Chicano hood. So I'm not Chicano, which means I'm not Hispanic at all. These guys are all half Mexican, half white. They're a lot of them. They just kind of grew up that way. Their parents might be from Mexico and their mom's from here. But they have a very distinct Chicano culture that I just kind of lived amongst. I didn't change anything about me. I didn't, I still wore shit kickers and flannels, man. I was still country boy, but I was hanging out with the essays, dog. And I was out there fucking partying. It was awesome, but I ended up just kind of living at the clubhouse. I didn't have a job really. I worked construction here and there, but I was just kind of banging chicks, getting really drunk, smoking a lot of weed, and I was riding my motorcycle all up and down the West Coast. And I rode with it's called the Green Machine back then, but the Vagos, it's one of their old support clubs. I went on a trip with them. I would just go hang out with other clubs. I was known as Spitwood. I can say that because in the gang world, in the club world, I say gang because that's what it's classified as. In the club world, I'm out good, which means I can keep all my club ink. I did everything correctly. Anyone who knows that you have to leave a motorcycle club that's at that tier. You have to leave it a correct way or else there are repercussions. And hey, man, you joined that life. But I joined that because I was struggling with camaraderie when I got out.
Yeah.
I felt like I was going to have these guys as like a easy transition when I got out to just kind of live that life. And I went from the gates. I threw on my cut, which is like your biker vest that had my quote unquote gang colors on it. I threw that on at the CP and then left on my Harley. And I went straight to Oceanside, met up with my club and smoked weed for like an entire day. Just got so outrageously ripped because I was banging this chick at the time who had a timeshare. And she let us use it. A bunch of these freaking Chicano face tats. I mean, these guys were just tatted from the family. Just all had been to prison. A couple of them had done like 9 years and just didn't look very nice. Yeah, I'm a kukui for those who want to know. Do with that as you may. But yeah, that life was pretty awesome. And then I met a girl who I ended up getting pregnant, and I already like burned one of my marriages before. So I didn't want to do that again. I was going to like try and make this all right. And I got sober and I stopped drinking. I stopped, I stopped doing everything, and I just really started working. I got a job with this chick's uncle's construction company and did that for a little bit until I started drinking again. I got comfortable, bro. Man. I was like, I had like a house. I had a company truck. I had the chick. She was pregnant. I'm like, oh, bro, I got this. I can have a few beers. I'm busting concrete all day, dude. What the hell? And that turned into like drinking at work because I worked with a bunch of illegals.
Yeah.
So I'm like getting hammered with these paisas, bro. We're just digging ditches and drinking and smoking weed all day for months. And I eventually got a DUI in that car or that company vehicle. That was pretty righteous. I got a hit and run. That was awesome. I backed into somebody and then gave them the finger like it was their fault. It was horrible decision-making skills, but I got kicked out of my chick's family's house for just being a drunk dickhead and yelling and always being angry and just rude to everybody. it just all went bad. I ended up living in a tent outside my chick's grandparents' trailer. So it was,
Dude.
yeah, dude, it was pretty bad. I was like one step away from being on a bridge, and I was still drinking. I was still drinking daily and spending all of my money, everything I had on alcohol, and I wasn't even working out, bro. I was doing nothing until I finally was, I had gotten some back payment on my disability. I had like filed and gotten that like 26 grand, which is horrible for an addict. You can never give an addict money.
Oh man.
So I got money, and then I got an apartment for like a year, paid for it, boom, done. So now everything else to me is like party money. So I'm
Right.
getting hammered, and my chick, like, we have a kid and shit, bro. It's like it's like my third kid. So I'm trying to like do something right, and I'm not doing anything right. I'm hammered. I'm still going to jail. She's still picking me up from, or not, she stopped picking me up from jail. At one point, I had to like legit get myself home. So I was in and out of jail. I mean, even though I had money, even though I had a job and shit, bro. And I got to one morning where I had a drink every morning before I went to work. So at 6 a.m., the gas station opened. So I would be out the door by like 5:30. I would drink. I would be hammered, like straight up blackout drunk by 7:30. And I would smoke as much weed as my body can handle. And then I would go into work.
Dude.
So I stopped doing that because one morning I just like was like, man, I'm a loser, bro. Like, I'm the only one out here every morning coming to do this. And the dudes who I do see here, they're just grabbing Gatorades and they're going about their business and they're working and they're all look like they're in shape and shit, bro. And I was in great shape in the Marines, man. Like, where did it all go wrong? And I'm just like sitting in my little RAV4, just holding this mics hard, like, because it was 9% and it was a small can. You could smash
Hell
5
yeah.
of them in 3 seconds. Dude, I just had a moment. I like drove home, told my ex-wife, I'm like, yo, I'm quitting my job and I don't know what I'm going to do, but I'm done. So I just went back to work, but I was sober. Like, I didn't drink. So I went back. I was like, hey, I'm out. Goodbye. And just kind of left, gave him the finger, did the whole thing you're supposed to do when you officially quit somewhere and don't care about it. So did that. And then I just went on this sober streak, bro. And I tried and I like flipped my life around and it worked. And I did the Family Guy thing and I became like super, like I'm like 1,400 days sober, but I had to become something else, man. I got in elite level shape. Like, I'm in better shape than when I was in the Marines, when I enlisted the Marines. And I had to become a dad. Like, I had to really become a dad. Some of it backfired, bro. Not gonna lie. Like, I took a lot of that time with the change, and that kindness, people took that for weakness.
Yeah.
And when I started trying to be super dad and watch my kids all the time, no matter what, I would work. Okay, I'll work and I'll go watch the kids. Hey, oh, you want to have a girls' night? Cool, go have a girls' night. I'll be home with the kids. Get home from girls' night. All right, I'll go to work, even though you got home at 2 a.m. and I go to work at 6. Cool, I'm going to do that, and I'm going to work out. So I'm like doing all this, keeping a positive attitude, staying sober. My dad ends up dying in Kentucky, and I'm in California. So I hadn't seen him in 12 years, kind of bad terms. So I have to come back to Kentucky because he left the house. My mom's here, and the house is big, and the property's big, and someone's got to take care of it. So I come back here, bring my family. I'm still trying to super dad it out, bro, staying sober and whatnot. Got a job as an executive protection agent, which is just basically a fancy security guard. And it didn't work out well, bro. Like, my wife at the time ended up, found she cheated, had been cheating on me. My mom, sadly enough, was actually the one who was like, yo, I didn't want to tell you, but people were telling me, people were calling me, and she was like across the country. She's like, people in California that she worked with were calling me, telling me she was cheating. I just didn't tell you because I thought you were either going to find out on your own and handle it, or you just were trying to handle this family and do the damn thing, which I was.
Right. So
I had to start over again because she took the house, the car, didn't take the kids. So I had I was single dading it out for like 6 months. It was just me and the kids. And I my dad's house, pretty big house. I'm very fortunate. I have everything I need here, but I'm just taking care of kids. I don't have, a lot of free time. Kind of, I can sleep right now. I'm just waiting for one of them to come down here and be like, are you ready for the fucking show? Just like ready to wake me up, dude. But they're, now I got 50-50. Like I got that, the mom came back around. I got 50-50 custody, and I'm starting to like be able to find cooler jobs because right now I'm just kind of making content for a food truck, and I'm driving the food truck and helping operate the food truck. So it's a pretty big deal, and I make decent money doing it, but I'm trying to do a different career, something that has more longevity. So that's just kind of in a nutshell. That's like where I ended up after all that shit went down. Like, and on top of that, I was fighting, bro. Like this past year, I had like 2 fights. Didn't do well. I got destroyed. And I'm not even, people are going to think I'm exaggerating what I'm about to say. I fought a 6'7", I want to say 6'7", like 180-pound, 19-year-old kid. I'm 33, and you just heard basically my life story. All right. I'm 5'11", bro, on a good day.
Yeah.
It was over in like a minute and a half, bro. I threw 3 punches. They didn't even come near him, dog.
Oh,
like
man.
I hit the air. It was super embarrassing. I amped myself up online about it because you kind of have to. Oh, same thing with my next fight, bro. The next fight was kind of cool. It was a really good fight.
Mm-hmm.
Went the distance. I just didn't win. But at that point, I realized I'm like 30. So on top of all this, like I lose my dad, my fucking wife cheats on me, dips out, I got my kids, and I'm like fighting and losing. So it's like,
okay, so this is a wild. America loves a good comeback story. So you say so your problem is alcohol. You're like, if I drink it, I can't. So you can't have an ounce. You can't have nothing.
No.
Okay. It's funny. Man. We see a lot of guys like that. You see a lot of guys that stop drinking. And I went through a phase, especially after I got out, where I drank a lot. And it's like, I think part of it is like self-medication. I guess basically, since I'm going to end it here, since he had internet issues. Also, I don't put it on Spotify, so I think if you're Android, you can use a thing called Pocket Cast, so use that. But anyway, I just want to tell everybody thanks for listening, and again, thanks to Shayne for coming on last minute, because that was some crazy stories, and I appreciate y'all listening. Thank you.